Hi, everyone. Today's going to be so fun because we have Kelly Nine Lives Baker. He's right now talking to us today from Arkansas, and he's got a YouTube channel called BC Tactical. B as in boy, C as in Charlie. So I'll link that below. He does survival review on his channel. And he and I are going to do a class because I'm really interested in survival. I've never done that. We're going to do it over Zoom. So if you're interested in a survival class, just email me and we'll set it up in about a month or two. It's going to be a really small fee for Kelly. And my email is growthfactor.org@gmail.com. We're here today mostly because Kelly had a near-death experience, maybe a few, I don't know. I love not knowing the whole story, so I could be surprised and shocked. And for the most part, I'm going to be off camera, and I'll tell you why. I feel like the interviewer, it's all about them, that, you fall in love with the interviewer and you just love their story. And the reason I do it is for a couple of years, I had anxiety, doom and gloom, and I would listen to people like Kelly and just feel so thankful as a reminder that there's more than this world, that this world is a world of tests, and we're just here to do our best and be good to each other. So that's why I do this show. And if you ever need me, I do help with people with anxiety and things like that, stress and anything related to that. There's so much related to that. So you can also reach out to me, growthfactor.org@gmail.com. It's partially nutrition tips and also hypnosis, meditation, things like that. So thank you, Kelly. If you can just jump right into your story, and I'm going to take myself off camera. Thanks for being here.
Okay. Hey, thanks for having me. First, I would like to say I'm probably going to hit you up for some of those nutrition tips. Hopefully, I can get hair like yours because I haven't had that in a while. But anyway, so to get right into the story, uh, first, I try not to take myself too seriously. So I really don't want to try to turn people off and say this is what you have to do. But I just want to say that there is life after this life that we're living here. So when you die, you don't just waste away and you're not just, there is life after this one, and it's a good life. So I want it to be an upbeat experience for people. I don't want people to dread or to think, a lot of people are scared of death, and I completely understand. So my experience, and I got the nickname Nine Lives when I was in the military. 2017, I was with the military. We were going to, we were on a deployment. It was a drug task force that I had been chosen for. I can't say where, but I can say that we were in the desert in New Mexico at the time, and I had a massive heart attack out in the middle of nowhere. Worst place in the world to have a heart attack. So I had a massive widowmaker heart attack, and they put me in the back of a truck, drove me into an ambulance bay, closest one they could find. That ambulance took me to El Paso. All told, it took 2 hours or so to get me to the hospital. So way longer than it should have taken, but it took that long. The first hospital we came to was a military hospital in El Paso, and they said, we don't have anybody here that can handle his situation. So they had to turn around and take me to another, which was University Medical Center in El Paso. And they had a really good crew of people there that I give my thanks to every day. And those people worked really hard and just didn't let me go. So when they got me to University in El Paso, I was dead in the parking lot. And, when I say dead, I don't take that word lightly. I asked the doctors, I talked to the people. When it was over, I was like, what exactly happened? Because a police officer, former military, I'm a skeptic by nature. I'm a skeptic. I was trained to be a skeptic. And, Geraldo Rivera show, Jerry Springer show, near death experience, all that. I'm a skeptic. I wouldn't say I'm a non-believer, but it's hard to make me believe things that I don't see, touch, feel, smell. So anyway, I talked to the doctors and they were like, you were dead. You were flatline dead. You had no brain function. You had no heart function. There was no oxygen. You were dead. And we don't know how else to tell you except you were dead. I died 6 times that day. So I died they brought me back, shocking me and shooting me with adrenaline and different, whatever they did. They shot me 22 times that day, over the course of all of it. And I was dead 6 different times. So I died, I came back, I died, I came back. So to make a long story short, they pull up, I'm in the parking lot, I'm dead. They take me in, and then I find myself in a different place. Uh, when they took me into the hospital, I don't know what was going on because I wasn't there. I didn't see any crazy things, like I wasn't floating above the hospital, watching the pigeons fly by. None of that. I was just, 1 minute I was here and it was pure chaos. People doing this and machines whirring and clacking and some guy in the back of the ambulance saying stuff and noise and sirens and all this stuff, traffic. Then the next second, I'm not there anymore. I'm somewhere else completely. Um, I didn't know where I was at first. It took a moment, I just kind of found myself in this black place. I say black instead of dark because I thought about it and it was just black. There was nothing there. There was nothing for miles around that I could see. There was nothing. And for a lot of people, that sounds really scary. Oh, in a black place, that's scary. There were no devils, no demons, no pitchforks, you know, but, Peter didn't come over and, hurry me through the pearly gates or anything like that. I mean, it was just me there. And I didn't have legs or feet or a body. I kind of looked down and I was just there. I just existed. I wasn't really, didn't feel like I was floating, didn't feel like I was, walking around. I was just there. It's difficult to explain. It's just like I existed there. And I was just existing. And thoughts started to enter my head. And I say that those thoughts are knowledge maybe that was imparted to me, or an understanding maybe that this is where you are, this is what's going on, you are safe. And I describe the feeling there as an unimaginable peace. And I call it an unimaginable peace because you just can't imagine how peaceful it was there. And I've sat and I've thought about it. I've journaled about it. And here we make a million decisions a day. Like, to turn on a light switch, I have to get up, decision. I have to put one foot in front of the other, decision, decision, decision. I reach over, decision. I flip the light switch up, decision. Which bill do I pay today? Decision. What job am I going to take? Decision. How much gas do I put in my car? Just a million decisions. You have a child, multiply that by another million. You have a wife and a husband, multiply that by another couple of million. You got a house to pay for. A billion decisions all the time. So our brain is constantly making decisions subconsciously that we don't even know that we're making. But our brain somewhere deep inside knows, because when you get to the other side, it is just an unimaginable peace. I can say, and people don't like to hear this always, but I can say that when I was in the ambulance, when I was having the heart attack, all I could think about was my wife and my children. I've got 6 kids. My wife, my kids, they're my life. I'm a family guy. And there I was, 1,000 miles away from everybody that I knew and loved. And I was dying. I'm a pretty tough guy, but I was dying. I knew I was. They told me that I was. Uh, I couldn't get a phone to call my wife, let her know that I loved her. There was no phone there. My phone was in my bag somewhere that somebody had. I was just I was kind of stuck in a bad spot. But when I got there to the other side, to that realm, I had no thoughts of anything here. I wasn't thinking of my wife or my kids. And that sounds so strange coming out of my mouth. It almost sounds, I don't know, it sounds hurtful to me. It makes me feel terrible and guilty, but there couldn't be peace if you had thoughts of people here all the time. And people want to know, my dad's watching out for me up there. Maybe, maybe that is for you. But for me, I had no thoughts of the people here, no thoughts of anything here. That's where the peace came from. After I had been there some time, and I had no concept of time there. It could have been an hour, it could have been 6 weeks. There was no concept of time. It was totally different than here. Uh, I guess if you put time limits on things, then there's stress and there's no peace, so there's just no concept of time. You just don't have that feeling at all. And then my grandmother shows up out of the black. Her face just kind of pushes through the black, and she's so beautiful and young. And I watched my grandmother waste away with Alzheimer's disease. So to see her that way was so, I don't know, it's indescribable. She was beautiful. She was herself. And she pushed her hand out towards me like this. And she said, "You're going to be just fine." Just like this. And as she pushed me away, I sat straight up like I am now on the operating table or whatever they had me in the emergency room. And there I was. And they were like, and once again, it was nuts. It was a madhouse. It was chaos everywhere. So I went from the unimaginable peace to full chaos, machines whirring and people throwing stuff across the way. Some guy got my face, said, "You were dead, man. You got to fight, man." And I'm like, wow. Then I died again. Uh, the second time they got me back after I died the second time, and I was begging for a phone. Somebody put a phone to my face, and I talked to my wife. I had no idea what I said to her, but my wife said that I told her, "Hey, honey, I'm sorry. I've had a heart attack, but they've got me in the hospital. They're going to do surgery and things are going to be just fine. So tell the kids I love them. I love you, and I will see y'all soon." So they took the phone away. I died again. The next thing I know, I've died 6 times. I don't remember a lot of that, but I remember waking up in the hospital room in the place where they put me, the little unit there. Uh, my wife showed up. It was the next day. I had 10% heart function, and I really just wasn't in a very good place physically. I had no idea. I mean, mentally, I was like, what the, I had no idea what had happened. I hadn't had any time to reflect on anything. And it was just a crazy, crazy experience, especially for a guy like me, who's a skeptic, who doesn't believe in a bunch of jive. And so basically that was it. That was my near death experience. So I know that there's life on the other side. I know that the life on the other side is peaceful. I know that I gained understanding of what life on the other side was like. And, I've had people argue with me and ask me questions, and I say what I felt and what I know. And, they get upset with me sometimes because people believe what they want to believe. And I'm okay with that. But when you get there, this is what I experienced. So it was a wonderful place. It just didn't have a lot of scenery. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Kelly. I would like to do a part two where we can ask you more details because I'm sure people have much more details. And I've
Sure.
already thought of a few questions that I'm sure different kinds of people. There's the skeptics. I'm going to ask questions from the skeptics' point of view, and then people who just want to know more. And
Okay.
as a reminder, if you want to reach out to Kelly 9 Lives Baker, it's BC, B as in boy, C as in Charlie Tactical on YouTube because he has fun and survival review videos, which is well, we'll talk about in part 2, your most popular one that really got you on the map, that a lot of
Okay.
tactical survival companies featured you. So again, if you want to do a survival class from time to time with Kelly, or the one that I'm going to do with Kelly, it'll be in a month or 2. Just email growthfactor.org@gmail.com. And if you need my help for your life situations, you can email me there as well. And I'll put everything in the description. And of course, it helps if you can hit subscribe and like right now, and the bell next to it, and go to Kelly's channel, do that too. It just helped us become a community, and you'll be alerted when more of my videos and Kelly's videos come up. So that'd be great. Anything else you want to say about that? Otherwise, we'll go into part 2 in a moment.
You know, support your YouTube family out there. All of the viewers on my channel, they're like my YouTube family. I have my family at home, and then these guys are my YouTube family. I know that, I know them, I know their kids, and we really get to know one another. So reach out, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, and become a part of YouTube family. I think you'll be really surprised at how it enhances your life a little bit. So lots of things to learn, lots of things to see.
You said that so well. Thank you, Kelly. And I'll put
Thanks.
information in the description too. So
All
thank you,
right.
Kelly.
Thank you.
Look down everyone for part 2, where we'll get a lot more detail with Kelly. And thank you so much, Mr. Nine Lives.
Thank you.